The content.
Welcome to the Caribbean American News Media Show, your premier destination for in-depth coverage, engaging discussions, and entertaining segments showcasing the rich tapestry of Caribbean American culture. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from current events and community spotlights to arts, music, cuisine, and more. Our show features exclusive interviews with influencers, artists, community leaders, and everyday heroes who are making a difference in the Caribbean American community. Stay informed and inspired with our thought-provoking segments that highlight the diversity, resilience, and creativity within our community. Tune into the Caribbean American News Media Show for a captivating blend of news, entertainment, and storytelling that celebrates the Caribbean American experience. Get ready to discover new perspectives, celebrate successes, and connect with the heartbeat of the Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean American News Media Show for an immersive viewing experience like no other. Hashtag Caribbean American News, hashtag show, hashtag cultural celebration.
Hi, greetings all. Welcome to Caribbean American News Media Platform. We are live on the air. Remember, if it is Tuesday, yes, my friends, it is Caribbean American News Media Platform. A pleasant good evening to all our viewers and happy New Year again to all, especially those who are viewing us via GVD TV, channel 115. Mr. Sauter there in Denver, greetings to you. Greetings to the entire population of St. Vincent, the entire St. Lucia and St. Vincent. Congratulations to all of you. You've made it to another year, and I say to God be the glory. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all. Good to have you. Those of you who are viewing on our YouTube channel, we want to thank you for being here with us. Those of you who are viewing through our Facebook pages, we want to thank you so much. 360 Radio, and also, as I said, we are on GVD TV channel 115. That is the station to be on. All right, and so again, greetings to all. Let's get to work. With you tonight, Garfield Oliver. Yes, folks, there's so much going on in the world that, you know, we got to spend some time together. And I want to remind you, friends, of some biblical facts. One is that righteousness do exalts your nation. Can't get away from that, folks. Righteousness exalts the nation. Nothing else. Not money, and not your favorite bourgeois. No, not your favorite lawyer. Righteousness, my friends, right doing really brings prosperity to a people, and sin brings it almost to a downhill. Good evening to Lisa Jean-Baptiste, my Dudu Befo. Yes, greetings to you, Lydia, and all those who are coming in. Clive from Grenada over on our YouTube channel. All our guests, greetings to you once again. Good to have you here with us. I came on the set laughing. You know, it's just amazing when you have individuals who believe that, you know, they're powerful and they're strong and they're and you put them, you know, to have a conversation and they can't even talk, you know. Oh, my friends, but share the live and, you know, tag a friend as we continue with the discussions that pertain to you, your business, these are no or swear. Now, there is something that I want to promote Let me see if I can get it. Just bear with me for a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. And that is, I believe we did have it set up in somewhere in our main system. Let's see if we can find it. But share the live and tag a friend. Me, Jean French happy, you know. Things gonna get hot from here, all right? Okay, so we have a promotion here from the United Workers' Party, and that is, let's see if we can get it up. Yes, it is up, and that is a family, the family of Lincoln Skinny Maynard and the United Workers' Party would like to invite you to a memorial dinner on Saturday, the 8th of January, 2025. That is at the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School. Start time, 7 p.m. Tickets cost $50. A special tribute honoring the life of our beloved Skinny. Tickets are available at the United Workers' Party Secretariat. You can call 758-451-4949 in order to get your tickets. Again, this is the family of the late Lincoln Skinny Maynard, and the United Workers' Party invites you to a memorial dinner on Saturday, the 18th of January, 2025. That is at the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School. Start time is 7 p.m. Ticket cost $50. A special tribute honoring the life of our beloved Skinny. Tickets available at the United Workers' Party, UWP Secretariat there in Castries. Number to call would be 758-451-4949. Again, 758-451-4949. Yes, 4949. Ensure, folks, that you support the Skinny family. We know that they went through a lot recently, and they lost their brother, their father, their family member. And so I would encourage as much of you as possible who can go out and support, that you go and support. And like we said this week, that we should allow the family to grieve. We should give them all the support that they need at this time, and we should just just hold our horses for a while, and we can deal with those matters at the appropriate time, because what we saw was all the hell breaking loose, and then we're finding out who gave what and what was given and all this kind of craziness. So let's allow the family to grieve. Again, condolences to the entire family there. We here at Caribbean American News, we did speak on the situation on Sunday night, and that's where we left it. We will get back to it at the appropriate time in our judgment, when we believe when it is right for discussion. We will do. But did I say the 8th or the 18th? Did I say the 8th? Let's just check it out again. Let's just look at it again. The 18th. All right, so that's a correction there. It is the 18th. Thank you, Dee, for always being on the ball, keeping me in check. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. I deserve people like you, my viewers. I truly do. All right, whether it's my English or a wrong date, you guys are on me. I would get the calls, the texts, the emails that, why did you say lost and not LOSS? I'm like, all right. It better you. Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah. All right. So that is what's going to happen, and I'm sure at the appropriate time, a date for the service will be announced, and we here will share with you that those announcements. We also have in further news the opposition leader of St. Lucia, Mr. Alan Chastney, will be addressing the nation tomorrow evening That is the 8th of January at 8:30 in the p.m. 8:30 in the p.m. So the opposition leader, the Honorable Alan Chastney, will be giving his New Year's speech to the citizens of the country. All right, and so I am sure the Prime Minister would have issued his New Year's message already, I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure. I shouldn't say I am sure, but we would hope that that has been done already, or maybe it's going to be done in February or the end of January. But the opposition leader will be addressing the nation tomorrow at 8 p.m. 8:30 p.m. rather, and so we invite all to listen, be a part of the broadcast, let's look at some developments quickly, and then we will have a discussion. We're going to open our lines very early. We're on GVD TV until 10 o'clock. We will try to exit before 10. Again, the number 929-586-1821 will get you on the air. 929-586-1821. I would love to hear from as many of you as possible, that we can know what is happening in the nation, right? So the Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada, it is reported that he has stepped down also from his position, which sent a shockwave throughout the nation. It sent a shockwave throughout the world, rather, and that is at the brink of a new U.S. president who have been threatening Canada to inflict economic pain through tariffs on them, both Canada and Mexico. Mr. Trump recently made a kind of asinine statement that he would attempt to take over Canada, or to, change the name and to make it the 51st state. I think that's what I heard, of the United States. And folks, we're in for, interesting times. We can't predict where this is going to go. It might go left, it might go right. None of us know, friends, where this United States in the next 4 years is going to go. All I can say to you is that there's a prophecy that was documented, a biblical prophecy, that things are going to get as rocky and shaky as possible, and everything that can be shaken will be shaken. And it looks like the world must brace themselves for a shaking. And I'm not sure if Caribbean people are preparing themselves for these challenges with the Prime Minister, with the President called Mr. Trump, and the type of tariff wars that he wants to start out there with China, with Mexico, and also with Canada. So I don't know if you're preparing yourself down there, but my advice to you is to brace yourself. These small countries will not be able to withstand some of these shocks, the after effects of a economic war with the United States and other countries. You guys will be squeezed in the center of it. And if you are complaining now, when that starts, then I believe you will have a problem. You will have a problem. So brace yourself, folks, and continue planting your food, continue eating from the soil, continue eating local. You don't have to follow the crowd and be in supermarkets buying out all the imported American stuff that you like. No, try, if you can avoid it, avoid it. If you can avoid it. Do as much local as you can be. And those of you who are looking for land, try to get land in the countryside where you can plant, you can have your little garden and everything else, and not all around your place concrete jungle. So start thinking about the future. Start thinking about your future. All right. Let's look at some new developments that we're getting out of China. Of course, now we got a report from Lenox Hill Hospital here in New York, confirming this new strain, mixture of the flu, COVID, and other viruses that are airborne. You know, one of my favorite writers says that in the last days that the air will be tainted, the air is going to be messed up. And I will say, folks, that there is not much you can do when you have tainted air. That's just what it is. You're at the mercy of whoever have the mercy, of course. And that is the giants, those who are seeking power and want to influence, control the masses, the people. And so there is this new strain. And I was speaking to a doctor yesterday at one of the medical institutions here in New York and Long Island, to say. And she was saying to me personally that as a doctor, she had never seen it like this before. She's seeing young children with pneumonia type symptoms, and that is what we're hearing from China. That's what Lenox Hills here in New York, they're reporting also. So what you have now, and I have seen it with my own eyes here in New York, I saw it at the Long Island Jewish Hospital. I went into the emergency room. It is packed to capacity. The staffs are just moving back and forth. What I saw there at the hospital is rooms that would normally have one bed now have two. Yeah, with a blind between them, and it reminds me of the COVID-19 era, where the hospitals were overburdened and were bursting at the seams, where we had to have field hospitals put up and containers outside to collect bodies. It was not a good scene back then, and I got a little concerned when I saw the double beds in the rooms and the waiting rooms packed to capacity. And then you're seeing children and adults having the same symptoms, cold that are not going away for, the cold would run its course, a week or so, then it start to cool off on you. But this new strain of whatever is out there, it is holding you down for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You have a non-ending cough, and for the kids, their nostrils are running, heavy, thick cold it's not giving up. It's relentless. And I wanted to alert you tonight. Sometimes we speak about Richard Frederick and Philip Jippé and all those things, but we miss some of these news developments. And I thought that I would take this moment to inform you, because there's an old biblical saying that the fool perish because the people perish because of lack of knowledge. When you're not informed, when you do not have the information, then you walk into your death. You walk into a lot of stuff. You sign on a lot of things. You get into a lot of deals that are very detrimental and would hurt you down the road. So I am here, folks, to enlighten you. Prepare yourself for the coming medical crisis. I have not called it a disaster, but I call it a crisis for now. It will become a disaster if we do not have the proper facilities and equipment and medical space to deal with it. It becomes a major disaster for countries, developing countries that have been very slow in getting their medical house together. And that's why we will put in pressure all the time here at Caribbean American News, because we are very much aware that our developing countries are not 100% or I cannot even say 60% ready for a medical disaster. We will have to be scrambling. We're not even sure if they're stockpiling certain stuff, medical equipment or gears, respiratory gears in the country. We don't know if these small countries have a state facility control climate environment with medical supplies in case of a major disaster. Supplies, I mean, that can last. It can sit there for a while. Equipment also. We don't know. We're not sure. But what we're hearing, especially in St. Lucia, and the truth is, I found out that there are other countries in the Caribbean, even Barbados and those countries, Grenada, who are in almost the same situation that St. Lucia is in right now. And these people are seeing their medical institutions being pressed. It is at breaking point. And these facilities are at breaking point, my friends, because governments have not made the necessary preparation. They're just playing games with the citizens of the country and playing football with the medical institutions, whether it's a building, whether it's appointment of officials. What we see is just a football game and not the real, a football test match, really, not the real match, to deal with the challenges that are before us. And I am telling you, friends, what I saw with my own eyes and what I heard from the doctor, all hell is about to break loose when it comes to this season, this what they would consider to be flu season. Because of COVID, we did not have major issues with the flu, but now you have a mixture, a bouillon. And sadly, folks, if you're drinking, if you're a drinker, a smoker, if you abuse yourself, the possibility is that you can be the first victims. You can fall first. Yeah? Yes, you can fall first. And that's why I keep warning you folks to stay away from the alcohol, stay away from the smoking, pay attention to your body and your health. Mezor da politics ka goume, ka babye, ka jiwe, ka fe maji, ka reproach mounek ba huh? But these are the things that we need to talk about also. Yes, we have a host of issues in our nation. We have a crime problem in Trinidad and Tobago. We have a crime problem in St. Vincent, St. Lucia. Matter of fact, St. Lucia is leading St. Vincent when it comes to crime. Never seen it before. Record after record crime. All these young people. And I would want to ask the question, even while we are talking about health and preparation for what is to come. Who bewitched our young children, our young people, this generation? Who spoiled this generation? Somebody have had to spoil them. Someone would have had to introduce them to drugs or robberies or nastiness. Somebody had to introduce them, and I am almost certain that it would have been adults who would have introduced these children to what we are reaping today. I am sure, almost sure, that it is an adult who have given us, delivered to us, this generation. Yes, we had crime back in our time. But for God's sake, what we are seeing now, something that we have never really experienced. in the country. And I repeat, some grown-ups delivered unto us in our time what we have today in this generation. Someone have spoiled our generation. A home, a drug lord, a greedy Joe, politicians, police, men of influence have delivered to us the generation that we have today. And we running looking for to put our hands on the problem. Put your hands on yourself. And I'm speaking to you who are listening to me. If you have young family members, young boys in your family, and they were doing nastiness and foolishness and bringing home stolen stuff, and were lying and robbing and thieving and not going to school, or you were not investing in their education, all you were doing was sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry, and carnival uniform costumes every year, but you can't buy books for your children, you have delivered unto St. Lucia the generation that you're seeing now. You delivered it. They didn't deliver themselves. And yes, they had their own mind. No. You were entrusted with their young minds to leave an impression there, to guide them, to discipline them. And to discipline them is to have them to wash dishes and to be responsible, to go to school, to respect the neighbor, to say good morning, good evening, to respect people's property. But instead, Zose Deban City West. So they bring home the people goat. They don't have a farm. You never saw them with goat. They bring home the goat meat or the cow meat or the pig meat, and you cook it, you stew it up, and you're laughing. You never stop to ask, where did you get the meat? Where did you get the car? Where did you get the bike? Your young girls coming home. New clothes, earrings, gold ring, new this, lipstick. Every day is a new outfit and always going out to come back. And you in your bed, you hear when they come home because you hear the car engine stop, and you hear it stop for at least an hour before they come inside. But Deban City West, my question is, who have delivered the generation that we have today? And then we want to blame everybody else. Who delivered them? These menace in our society did not come out from government, It came out from your house. And yes, it is the responsibility of the government to put policies in place to cushion that neglect in your home. So when you see politicians insulting people and méprising people and out of control, no self-control at all, look at your generation, the now generation, friends, and tell me what you see. What you see is a splitting image sometimes of those leaders. And I think I make a lot of sense. Look at your politicians' behavior. Look at your leaders in your society. Then look at the generation. Splitting image. You swear they were born on the same day. They look like twins. They look like triplets. My question again, who have bewitched? And let me tell you something. yes, we can hold the generation accountable for the actions because we said, yo, look, they have their own mind. But let me tell you something. You see the mind of a child? You see when a parent neglects the responsibility of training that child, developing a well-disciplined mind? Do you know the power of that young mind that was placed in your possession to manage and train? If that child grew up in the house where mommies and daddy's always shouting, screaming at everything, mosquito pass, daddy screaming, daddy toujours enragé, toujours fâché, all the shares, the possibility is that young child, young boy will grow up to feel that is normal behavior and that, you know, he can shout and scream and be wagé and fâché too. The home has a lot to do with our society. And let me talk to you government people. Let me talk to you for a minute. You guys got to account too, you know. You guys give these young people lip service. You give them little tokens, you know, tokenism. Little tokens to seal loyalty and votes. Let me ask you politicians, do you really care about our young people? And let me ask the young people, do you really think that your politicians care about you? I'm just asking you a question. It's up to you to answer it. And I would like somebody to call me and to rebuke me on what I'm saying here to you, 929-586-1821. My question again to you young people, those of you who are sitting on the sideline, you're not getting yourself involved in groups and organizations like back in the days. You had the cadets, the pathfinders, adventurers, the master guides, girl guides, the scouts. You had the local netball groups and football clubs in your different communities where these young people would be part of. That will help them in their discipline. Huh? Those of you who are on the sideline, young people, I'm talking to you. Back in the days, we had more young people in these groups. And we had less of what we're seeing now. What have taken the place of these groups are the gangs, fast money, prostitution, young girls. Can't wait to grow up. And end up with very bad people who shows them some fake love by giving them an outfit, a panty and a bra and a new shoe and a ring and a tattoo. And that represents love for them, and they will follow that beast wherever he leads to their own destruction. Yeah. So I go back to my original question. Young people, listen to me. Do you believe that your politicians care about you? And look at all the policies. Look at the amount of money that are being invested in you. Look at it throughout the years. And I'm going to ask you adults, again, look at some of your government ministers and look at your generation and tell me what you are seeing. Tell me what you're seeing. So where do we go from here as a nation? Do we just throw our hands in the air and say, well, they're gone to hell in a handbasket already. They're gone. They're done. There's nothing we can let them kill themselves. But the reality of that is while they're killing themselves, they're killing innocent people. And not only that they're killing them, let them kill themselves is not a good policy. Some of these parents who are city wares, see your pani city wares, your pani voler. Some of these same city wares have to go now and ask politicians to help them bury those menace. So the problem never ends at let them kill themselves. That places a tremendous burden on the society. And even the church. Because the church sometimes got to bring up some money to help bury. And then if you go to a politician and you ask the politician to help you to bury the dead, then the possibility is there that when you cross floors or when the politician run out of favor with you or you with him, then the possibility is there that the politician will expose you on the air or expose you in a newspaper. That's the reality that you face. That's what is happening. We saw just recently what happened. I give you all, I give you all, I give you all. St. Lucians and the rest of the world, it is time for us to demand not give me in my hands, but give me the opportunity to work for what I want. Too many of you, and I'm just realizing why some of you can't speak in your country, because some of these politicians have done a lot of favor for you and your children. And when people do favor for you at some point, somebody got to pay. And when the politicians give you, they're expecting blind loyalty. Don't mind what they tell you. I just give everybody. I don't care. No. Politicians are not that nice. A lot of them are not that nice. A lot of them are not that spiritual as they want you to be. God is alive and God. No. Which God are you talking about? Because I know there's a whole lot of gods in this world. But what I never hear from them is Jesus. They don't mention that name. All they tell you is God. And it sounds like lowercase g and a O and a D. Not the uppercase God. But let's take a break and we will come back to discuss there is hell to pay when politicians give you or do favors for you. Lucians, watch yourself.
At Great Vision Designs, we value our customers and provide cutting-edge customer service. Great Vision Designs specializes in television broadcasting and live streaming of funerals, sports events, weddings, meetings, shows, and more. Call us today at 722-6542 or 726-9914. Or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Great Vision Designs, coverage you can count on.
And I want to say thanks again to our friends there at GVD TV, Vitus and the family. I've known him for a very long time. The Celestine family also. Yes, I know you folks are good people. So blessings to you and wish you all the best for the new year. But I'm just talking, tonight. I want to just talk to you, and I want you to talk back to me, of course. 9958618121. And I want you to, I'm doing this with the intention of having you to reason, to think. Even Jesus says, come, let us reason together. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. So your politicians go around talking about God like they are so godly, and they give because they're Father Christmas. They're better than the guy that they call Santa Claus, St. Nicholas he was. Yeah. They're better than Jesus who walked the earth. So they give to the poor, and they gave, and they give, and they give. But when they do give, I'm telling you, they're expecting loyalty. They're expecting a vote. Huh? They're expecting you to walk with them. And when they switch party, they're expecting you to switch too. Now, let me tell you something about the whole switching of party. And I'm just having a little bunyo discussion here tonight, right? We're gearing up for our official new program here for the upcoming new year, this new year, as we prepare our platform for elections. We're going to be switching the platform into election mode. We're going to have the candidates who was elected. We're going to have them up on the screen, and so our whole system is being redesigned into campaign mode. It's going to be the official campaign headquarters for this coming general elections, and we're also monitoring general elections in St. Vincent. All right, but let's talk, brethren. Let's reason together, and that's why I always say to you, folks, those of you who are supporters of the United Workers' Party, I speak to you especially. I want you to be the most decent and caring people in the nation. I don't want you to be jumping around. Shasney is not a god. That's one. Not a god. Shasney, guy, and then you cussing people. But if anybody says Shasney, hey, you cuss, you ready to fight, you ready to break up relations. Let me tell you something. Let me just share something with you. I want you to, and you will be successful in your life if you do this. Never put politicians or politics before family and before friendship. I'm going to say that again, because some of you have your head screwed on back to front. Never, ever put politics or put politics before your family. Never put politics before your friendship, your relationship. You will prosper, you will live longer if you do that. Some of you put politicians ahead of relationships that you have had for a very long time. Don't do that. And by the way, if you understand the whole political discussion, or you know what is happening in our political arena, you will not walk around hating, because hating, according to Martin, will never solve the problems in this world. Hating those who are oppressing you, hating those who you believe are the enemy of the state, is not going to fix anything. A matter of fact, it worsens your problem. Because what you will have is a nation not talking to each other. Nobody wants to see each other. Once you're yellow, we don't want to see you. Once you're red, we don't want to hear you. No Pablo. And if you have family members who are supporting the St. Lucia Labour Party or the United Workers' Party, all fall down. You know, somebody reminded me of Sir John Compton and his family. What's his name? Hunt? And they said to me that these guys were of the opposite party, and they were married to the same sister, they had to sit at dinner. They had to be around each other. They had to understand that family first. And they could have fought all that they want. They had to go to dinner. They had to talk to each other. Because at the end of the day, they are family. They are one. I'm telling you, this is going to save you high blood pressure and everything. When we are discussing politics, right, and you disagree with someone, don't tell them about their mother, their cousin, their auntie. Don't bring all these people in. Deal with what they're saying. But if the people are uninformed, then the only thing they will do is what they know. They will tell you that's your mother and your father and your auntie and your thief and your this and your that, but not touching the issue. For instance, we talk about healthcare, bad healthcare, and all of us can agree. Both SLP and UWP can agree that we do not have a proper healthcare system. You may have hospital buildings. You might have a new one at St. Jude or St. Jude's or Jude. But we can all agree that the government cannot afford their own medical system. Can we agree? That's the problem. They can't afford medical. Brethren, the truth is, your government cannot afford to provide you proper health care. Why? Because they're bankrupt of ideas, of course. They have been recycling the same garbage over and over and getting the same result. And by the way, some of them need to resign, get out of the way. Leave politics alone. You have your same crooked, old, zombie ideas that can't fit into this century. Those ideas have worn out. They're gone, past, dead, gone. Vamoose. Happy riddance to good garbage. Can't fit in to the requirement and the needs of the people in this century. But they're still fighting over and they're still financing the same ideas. Those old ideas are expensive to maintain. So let's go back to what I'm saying. When you are discussing, let's say, healthcare, hey Bernard, happy New Year to you, sir, and the family. When you are discussing health, you cannot talk about people's mother unless their mother's in the hospital dying and can't get help. Huh? Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
At Great Vision Designs, we value our customers and provide cutting-edge customer service. Great Vision Designs specializes in television broadcasting and live streaming of funerals, sports events, weddings, meetings, shows, and more. Call us today at 722-6542 or 726-9914 or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Great Vision Designs, coverage you can count on.
Sorry about that, folks. I had to put family first there for a minute, you know. Yes, so let's go back to the whole discussion. I don't know what happened to my color there, but okay, so it's adjusting now. It's adjusting now. Just bear with me, folks. Yes, so let's go back to the whole discussion now. I can't see anybody, so you'll have to bear with me as I have this discussion with you. So, I was saying, if an SLP is having, me and an SLP, we're having a showdown. A discussion on healthcare. None of us actually should be going into each other's closet. We can agree with that, right? Why? Because that's not part of the discussion. The discussion is bad health care, of course. You would agree? Tell me if you're agreeing with me. Let's have a discussion. Do you agree? Yes. We all agree. Majority of individuals who are engaged in the political arena, the discussions, pundits, yeah? Individuals who are, you know, they're out there on platforms and they're talking and they're bringing up their blood pressure over politics. Half of them, friends, are not knowledgeable as to the issues that are affecting you, the people. So therefore, when you say to them, we do not have health care, or I went to the hospital and there is no bed, or Mr. Maynard had an issue at the hospital, then they would say to you, Richard Frederick, Shashley, and your mother, and don't come back to our country. And meanwhile, folks, you have a major problem developing. Nobody is seeing it. Everybody's seeing it, but nobody is addressing it because they're busy distracting themselves with nastiness. And there's some of them that can tell you the amount of baby daddy your cousin had. All that within a medical discussion. All within a medical discussion. Huh? I hope you understand, folks, what I'm saying to you. That if we don't fix, if we as a people don't change the way we discuss the issues in the country, another generation will come and sad to tell you that generation will have to do a whole lot of fixing that we would have spent billions of dollars for. They would have to pay back loans for billions of dollars, yet there is no infrastructure, there is no system to show that the money was spent. And maybe the system might show that a minister built a mobby shop for his best friend who campaigned for him. Maybe what will happen is a wholesale cabaret all over the place that a minister built to pay back favors that was done. But billions of dollars to be paid back with no proper infrastructure or system to deal with the challenges that are before us. I have a famous Bible writer, and she says that perilous times are upon us. Or perilous times will come, a time of trouble that no man have ever seen since the beginning of civilization. Huh? But then I remember that the Bible says that we should occupy till he come. And as I say to you, friends, to occupy means that you must have proper healthcare system. So for the Christians who are saying, well, as a Seventh-day Adventist, you should not be speaking about politics. And I've addressed that over and over before. Why would I, as a Christian, a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, see injustice, see the need for infrastructure, see the need for institutions that will benefit the poor, and I sit down, shut my mouth, and pray that Jesus come, while between that period of time, his coming and the situation, families are dying, people are dying at our hospitals, they are dying in chairs, they are dying on the floor, they can't get a bed, and guess what? The hypocrisy here is that when these people die and the church conducts the service, the church wants to spend eternity preaching at the dead. And there are churches that are preaching until the dead go straight into heaven, if that is possible. But then they say to you, don't talk, don't talk, don't talk. We all have to die and Jesus is coming soon and we got to be in the world but not of the world. But let's talk. Let me tell you something for those of you who are of that opinion that being in the world and not of the world means that you got to shut your mouth and take injustice. You're a bunch of hypocrites. I'll tell you why. Because many of you, especially in the United States, you are driving on buses. Rosa Parks, yeah, freedom. You are here in a white country, so-called white country. Did you know that it took a Baptist preacher his life living under the threat daily of assassination? Do you know that Christians, black Christians here in the United States were killed, beaten, their churches were burned because they were agitating for freedom? Because reading about freedom when Jesus comes was not really enough for them. They wanted to fulfill the Bible charge to occupy till I come. They wanted to drive the bus. They wanted to go sit on the bus. They wanted to use their same bathrooms as their white brothers. They wanted the freedom just to be a human being, the freedom to vote. The freedom for these same church people to have church today and collect tithe. It was Christians who fought for the freedoms that we now hold dear. And then we dare to look back and say to people like me, well, you should not be in the world or of the world, or you should not speak about these things because you're going to hell. I am not going to hell, friend. Hell ain't built for me or designed for me. But I sure know that the words that I will hear, that I was hungry and you fed me. I was in prison and you visited me. I was burdened and you lift my burden. Yeah, I went to the hospital. I was able to get a bed. I was able to get medication. All because you agitated for me. And many will say, well, where did we see you, Jesus? And he will say, well, you didn't see me in church. I was in the hospital. I was on a chair. I was on the floor. I couldn't get Panadol. You couldn't put any BNT ointment to smooth my bruise. I was in prison. Sentenced. In prison for something I didn't do. You didn't come looking for me. You wasn't advocating for my freedom. You didn't agitate for my freedom, of course. No, you were in your church collecting tithes and offerings and telling those who should speak up when they see injustice to shut them out because Jesus said they should not talk. And he will say to many, depart from me, I never knew you. So for those who sit by and enjoy all the freedom of expression, the freedom of association, the freedom of worship, as a result of dead Christians, the blood of Christians, Martin was killed, assassinated. And in many of his speech, he lifted up the Bible among the people. Finally, he said, I had a dream, I have a dream, that one day the blacks and the whites will be together. And then he said, I'm not going to get there with you folks. He knew his time was coming. He gave his life as a freedom fighter, Christian freedom fighter. And while the white Christians were hiding and saying, well, Jesus, you're not supposed to, I got a dream that you Christians not supposed to have party colors and talk about politics, and they should stay out of it. And if you put people in power and they're doing evil, you're responsible for the evil, and blah 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 blah. And then that's what they were doing. They were not fighting for the freedom of our people. They were not freedom fighters, many of them. They were tithe collectors, of course. So don't tell me that when I speak on this platform that I'm non-Christian and I'm going to hell. No, sir. You do not have a hell to send me, and I don't have one to send you. So that's why I say to you, when you are discussing the issues, friends, go deep. Speak from a position of understanding and experience. If you have had a bad experience in the healthcare system, in the education system, on the roads, at the supermarkets, you speak from that point of knowledge. Las palibetes. Speak from a position of experience. Speak sense. Stay on the issues. There's enough issues to deal with, friends. The airport is a major issue that we can discuss without any maypui, you know. Nobody got to speak about women's underwear and who this and who that and who have dentures and who have false hair and who look like a doll baby or who look like a dinosaur. Of course, when Kigara fell off the chair, we tell mom when much it told me, I almost fall down myself because that was funny. There are times we will have our funny moments. When we tell my lemon where Kigara, he there about boy, he there about, he see Garfield, sir. Ek he jiwe, lady Garfield, he jiwe. Ek boy just when me say what high fall, he told me break a deck. Ek when we modi, Abaga even there, me say just put the missy tag as me say create. You call the prophet name. So you shouldn't call the prophet name again. So I told it as a light moment and we laughed about it. We can have our light moments. We're human beings, of course, social beings. But don't tell me that when we are discussing important matters that we have to distract ourselves. There is enough at the airport in Vieux Fort. Brethren, do you see individuals? Have you ever seen, for those of you who have never traveled out of St. Lucia or into St. Lucia, do you understand what it is when you land from the snow in the United States? Your luggage is still cold like ice when you get here. You yourself, full of ice yourself. When you get in St. Lucia, you have to run from the plane to the airport. And if it's a busy day, you have to take a long line outside the airport under a galvanized shed. Well, that type of galvanized thing. Ek whole cow. Because you just left JFK Airport and you haven't touched ground yet, you know. You from the time you go up to get JetBlue at Terminal, what is it, Terminal 5 or 8? Well, I think American Airline is 8. But when you go to Terminal 5, you go up on top of the airport and you go in. And from the time you go into the elevators or the doors, whole carbon air condition. You walk on carpet. From the carpet, you go through duty-free stores. You have chairs to sit on. You have place to charge your phone. You can use the internet. You can put your foot up. You can put your foot down. You can use any bathroom you want. If you feel you're a rabbit, there are bathrooms for rabbits. There are rest areas for animals or pets. And then you walk into the jet bridge, straight into the plane, and you sit down. And imagine when you get to St. Lucia, whole Kaupamo, rain falling, the pilot will tell you, well, you know, depends on the pilot mood. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have to wait until the rain falling You have bad government in your country. Look at your airport. We have to wait. Yeah? Then you have to either get wet, get a fresh coal, all your nice perfume washed off of your, sometimes your little jacket you pick up at S&S and you go down to show off with. You know how you guys do it. And the new shoe that you put, sometimes you never had it here in the United States, but you put it because you want to look good when you go down, of course. All your shoe wet, your cheap shoe wet, even the tags fall off from them. Yeah? All your nice falls hair, a sous-côté on one side, and you put so much effort into traveling, you know. You know what I'm talking about. You all put so much effort in your traveling. Yeah? All the little hole in gel on your hair wash off in the rain at the airport in Viewfort. Huh? All your eyeshadow, your eyebrow mix up in one. You look like you fall through a chimney like Santa Claus. Why? Why do you have to go through that? Why? That's my question. Why do we not have a proper airport? Now, I dramatize all that, you know, so that it can hit home, so that you can figure out what I'm saying to you, and it's true. No, it's true. I got shocked. Pawi, I got shocked. Some time ago. The one day I saw the lady, she had a mohawk. Another time, I saw a Barbie doll. I'm like, what is going on? But there's an old saying, if you can't achieve it, you weave it, of course. And if you bought it, it's yours. But at least if you bought it, you expect when you land in St. Lucia, you will still have it. So there's a whole lot that we can discuss without even insulting each other. I would say to you, St. Lucians, if you start talking about the issues in your country, you would see movements, you will have transformation, you will see the developments that are necessary because you are sticking to the issue. You are not distracting yourself because the governments are expecting you to distract yourself, of course. Of course, I make a lot of sense. And I'm going to say it again because it makes sense to me, and anytime it makes sense to me, I say it twice. Your government politicians are expecting you to forget and to distract yourself. So the longer you spend distracting yourself, speaking about individuals and not policies, is the more you don't get policies. Because they see you as a bunch of jokers, illiterate jokers, who can't stay on the issue. If Martin Luther and those freedom fighters had only got themselves distracted with the bloodshed among them, the burning of houses, all the distractions and the bitterness and hatred, do you realize that the freedom fighters, those black freedom fighters, were never distracted even though all hell broke loose around them? Do you realize that even when they killed those freedom fighters, that the blood of the freedom fighters served as fertilizer for others to pop up from the ground? I am saying you got to look at history, friends. When the people are distracted, politicians enjoy the ride, and you have zero development or slow development or same old. But when the people come together and they remain on the issues such as healthcare, and I don't care what you say about Ralph Gonsalves in St. Vincent. Ralph Gonsalves built an airport that was necessary because he saw down the line what was needed. So he built an airport, and a proper airport. We need more leaders, visionary leaders like Mr. Sir John Compton, who saw the need for water, clean, drinking, healthy water. John Compton was driving from, I think he was coming from Castries, coming through Dennery, and John Compton said every time he traveled through that area, he would see families with little casket carrying their babies to bury in Dennery, because they were going to the river and they were being poisoned, or they were drinking contaminated water, whether it's cholera or whatever it is that was killing those babies. And John Compton's heart was broken, and that man went and that man petitioned, and that man had pipe-borne waters all over the place. That man had standpipes put up everywhere. Some of you used to bathe by those standpipes. You had your little bucket. You had to go down and line up to fill your jug, your jerry can, you would call it, to save those babies. Build a dam. Thought about the future of the nation. Push back the water at Pigeon Point. Backfill Castries. Move mountains. You swear John Compton was C.O. Williams. Moving mountains and creating paths. Because he looked down the road. And he wanted to leave a better St. Lucia. And politicians need to understand that you got to leave a better St. Lucia. When you get out of politics, or you're dead or you're gone, people must be able to see your footprints, positive footprints in the nation. That's why Sir John Compton will ever be the father of the nation. No one will take that title. And he wasn't distracted with the poop being thrown at him, or his car park being taken away, or they call him Jabla and all the nastiness. He wasn't distracted. Leaders who remain focused and the people who remain focused experience the change in their communities, in their church, in their society, the country. I want you to look at the United States. What the freedoms that you see here, they were fought for. Blood was shed. People were not afraid to stand up for what was right. And when the white man would say to them, "Be silent," then they would keep more noise. They would agitate for better health care. I challenge every one of you under the sound of my voice, stop the nastiness in the nation. And I said it earlier. Most of us as human beings, the longer you live is the more you have your own mepui under your bed, in your closet. The longer you live in this sinful world is the more you have things to hide in your closet. Things that you would have done 30, 40 years ago that you're not proud of and you don't want anybody to know. But some of you there vaporizing people as if you're clean and they're dirty and you never sin, you drop from heaven like an angel. The only angel that dropped from heaven was Satan, and he was dirty as hell. So if you dropped from heaven, then you're Satan's son or grand pygmy. All of us have our defects. So we must learn to agree and disagree. We must learn to understand, respect a person's choice of choosing a political party. Give them that freedom. Respect them. And they respect you for your choice. But what is healthy, as I said, for the democracy of the nation is both sides having discussions on the issues. You will see it differently. They might have different paths. Some might be trying a little bubble there, a little bubble there. But you have that discussion. It's healthy for the nation, the development of the nation. It's not unhealthy. So when I see people online cursing and insulting, doesn't make sense. It does not make sense, brothers and sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, it does not. So I call for us to be decent citizens. Let's be honest citizens. Let us be caring citizens, but let's not turn a blind eye on the nastiness in our political system, because there is nastiness. And I can go back over my clips where this one politician bought naked pictures of another one with the intention of making him look bad, and this one paying off this one, and this one having his people giving them a little top up to insult this one and to tell them, give them mepwe about each other. The last thing I heard was I charged people $1,000 for a class action lawsuit. I laugh. I don't take that on because it's laughable. Huh? Think about it. Huh? Think about it. Look, we have under the platform tonight what we would have considered to be one of the biggest labor hacks. Some would say annoying. But he can come onto the platform and he can take the blows, he can be there, he can speak, he can agitate, get some of you acting out of yourself. He can do it. And it is okay for you to come, folks. But what we need to do is to just start toning it down, speak loudly on the issues. Healthcare, friends. You know, I heard that one of our brothers spent almost 48 hours sitting on a chair. Now, I can't verify it right now. 48 hours at the hospital. I heard Mr. Greaves saying to the St. Lucian people as the director of the hospital, see if you all can go elsewhere. Here is the list of hospitals. When we look at the list, here's a list of clinics. When we look at the list, most of these clinics were not 24 hours and they were not open at a certain time. And then he said, well, if it's not a serious medical issue, don't come to the hospital. In my mind, I'm saying, wait a minute, friends. How do you tell me don't come at the hospital when I just have a slight tightening in my chest? Nothing big, just a little tightening. You understand what I'm saying? Huh? You know, a little stomach pain there, and you know, you might feel a little stiffness in your neck, and you feel a little dizzy. And they're asking you to assess yourself, and if it's not anything serious, don't come. Do you know, friends, that there are a lot of people who have gone to the emergency room with what they consider to be gas, and they're dead? Do you know that? Do you know that there are a whole lot of people who, when they left their homes with discomfort and they went to the hospital, do you know some of the results that they've gotten? Diagnosis: cancer, mini strokes, mini heart attacks. And they went like if it was gas. They were drinking ginger. And they were drinking all kind of bush because they thought it was just a little gas. I didn't eat yesterday. Or, you know, I think my whole self feel a certain way. Or I drank too much and blah, blah, blah. And they go there to realize that it is something more serious. And some have gone, really, nothing going on. nothing big, just to be kept in the hospital, because if they had not come there within that period of time, they would have been dead. So, and that's what I'm saying, friends, you know, and that's true, Haynes. St. Lucian, tout le yo satiko yo amanya yo got this gas. And I want to warn St. Lucians with this gas thing, because for those of you who are suffering from acid reflux and those things, acid reflux and stomach issues, sometimes it's ulcer you have in your stomach. Sometimes you have a slow stomach, a leaky stomach, and it needs urgent intervention. Diet change and medical intervention for you to feel better. But it makes you feel like you're bloated and you think that is gas. But where's the bloating coming from, of course? Could be an ulcer. Could be an ulcer. Could be something that need to be corrected. So that's where Beatties cause her. And if it's gas, you say, go drop it at the gas station, but get yourself to the hospital and get yourself checked out. Prevention is always better than cure, friends. But many of you are afraid of your medical system because of the stories that you've been hearing. People are dying every time people go to the hospital. By the way, every time you pass the hospital, you see Rambali coming out or going in. I challenge any one of you. Have you not seen that? Tout là où passe. Rambali, Lazarus, Cricks, in, out, as if they have a headquarters up there. And once people see that, people feel afraid. And that's why they diagnose themselves and say it's gas. They fool themselves to say it's gas. And they stay home and drink all hot water and bush. And some of them damage themselves by drinking certain alcohol mixtures that worsen their situation. Yeah? So we can discuss these issues because they are serious for the people. I spoke about the airport, and I spoke about the importance of the airport and the importance of the medical system. I don't think that there is one SLP supporter that will say to me that we should not be speaking about the healthcare system. I don't think we're going to find. I doubt that we should not find any of them saying that everything is okay. And what I'm saying is that when you engage these people on these issues, then they say to you, Shastney was there. Guy Joseph Volley, all the materials. Shastney stole all the money. All the vaccine money could have fixed all the healthcare problems in St. Lucia. Shastney was borrowing money every week. Now, again, they have not touched on the issues. Even in the House, government ministers, they go there to debate, and all you hear for hours upon hours is Shastney. One of the politicians actually ran out of breath in an attempt to go on his Shastney campaign. And you know what happened? The serious issues goes unnoticed. Folks, I'm going to open the line, 929-586-1821. You can call now. As I said, we're setting the foundation for us to take off with our official news platform in preparation for the upcoming general election, both in St. Lucia and also in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'll be right back.
At Palette Pleasure, located Ogier Vieux Fort, we take pride in our ability to cater to a wide range of events and occasions, whether it's a joyous celebration like a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or graduation, or a more somber gathering such as a funeral or first communion. We are dedicated to providing exquisite culinary offerings to suit each unique event. Our diverse menu includes offerings such as funeral treat boxes and treat boxes for all other occasions, ensuring that we can provide comfort and support during difficult times, as well as enhance the festivities during happier moments. In addition, we offer prepackaged meals designed for all occasions, ensuring that the food at your event is not only delicious but also convenient. Call us today at 758-733-3365 for your finger-licking and palatable foods. At Palate Pleasure, located Ogier Vieux Fort, we take pride in our ability to cater to a wide range of events and occasions, whether it's a joyous celebration like a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or graduation, or a more somber gathering such as a funeral or first communion. We are dedicated to providing exquisite culinary offerings to suit each unique event. Our diverse menu includes offerings such as funeral treat boxes and treat boxes for all other occasions, ensuring that we can provide comfort and support during difficult times, as well as enhance the festivities during happier moments. In addition, we offer prepackaged meals designed for all occasions, ensuring that the food at your event is not only delicious but also convenient. Call us today at 758-733-3365 for your finger-licking and palatable foods.
Yes, my people, welcome back. Sorry about that. We played it twice. Yes, I was just reading something there. Somebody said that they had a friend who it happened to them. You know, the friend was sick, thought it was gas, went to the hospital, and she was having a heart attack. So these are real experience. They are no joke. All right, they are no joke. Somebody said that, Ian said that on this one, wrong. Shazzy Toilet will tell you the health system is nice. I don't think any right-thinking solution would say that. That's to tell you the truth. I honestly don't think so. All right. All right, so you are reminded, folks, of the January 18th memorial dinner for the late Lincoln Skinny Maynard. That is at 7:15 at the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School. Tickets are $50. The tickets are available at the United Workers' Party Secretariat. The number to contact them by, if you need tickets, 758-451-4949. Ensure, friends, that you support the Maynard family. If you love them, if you did love him, and you mean what you said about him, that he was a good supporter and friend, I'm going to ask you to go out in large numbers and give the family the support that they need. It is time for us to put our money where our mouth is, where our heart is. Huh? Not that you got to pay for friendship, you know. Well, $50 is not a lot for some of you. Some of you can sponsor. Those of you in the diaspora, I'm going to encourage you to sponsor families who want to go. Call St. Lucia, call the office, the secretariat. Let them know, look, I want to sponsor at least 4 individuals. I want to sponsor 100 persons for this skinny function, and make arrangement to get the finance over to them and allow them to choose individuals to attend, to give the tickets free. But you buy the tickets if you're in the diaspora and you want to support the Skinny family. Let us do so. And let me tell you something, friends. One thing I can guarantee you, that when the United Workers' Party, and I'll tell you what I know, all right, when the United Workers' Party does something for families, you do not hear it as mépris against them. I don't hear it in public. Well, at least that's when there were more decency in our politics. I wouldn't hear people reproaching or having major discussions on what I gave as a party, or I've never even heard Mr. Chastney walking around boasting who he helped, how many he helped, and people should love him and serve him. No. To the contrary, he do not want anyone to love him and to serve him the way we treat people like they're kings, king of the jungle, and you know, when somebody's a narcissist, friends, it is a very serious thing. You know, they turn every situation as though they're the victims. You know, have you ever met people like that? Have you ever, folks? They will turn everything. They will take every situation and they will insert themselves and they will make you feel sorry for them. As a matter of fact, they will make you feel like you are doing something wrong to them. And if they see you praising someone else, all hell break loose. All hell break loose. So this event, it is for the Maynard family. This event, Bernard, I got to rebuke you on this one. That is out of order, out of line. As a believer, I am not a part of anything that makes bread on any dead. Nobody's making bread on Mr. Maynard's death. The United Workers' Party will never stoop so low. They will never do it. I can almost promise you that. This is for the Maynard's family. I remember a GoFundMe was started when he was at the hospital. A GoFundMe was started, and I believe that they have continued with that so that the family would not have a major burden when it comes to paying medicals or the burial. And I am sure there are young children there that he would have had that might need to be taken care of. So I would strongly object, sir, to that statement. I am not part of a mobby shop. I am not part of any such nastiness that I see popping up sometimes on the other side. That I strongly condemn. And I condemn it with a passion because the Honorable Mr. Chastney and many of the good leaders of this party, you have never heard them reproaching anyone that they have helped publicly, especially after they have died. They have never done it. You have never seen it. You will not see it. All right? And you ask why, and I will answer it. You ask why a dinner costing $50 now. Who is collecting the money? If you read the ad, let me put up the ad again for clarification so that we can know what is happening here. The family, I'm going to read again. Remember, my people are destroyed for lack of information. I gave you the information earlier. I'm going to go back at the information again. It says, and I read slowly, the family of Lincoln Skinny Maynard and the United Workers' Party invites you to a memorial dinner on Saturday, the 18th of January, 2025. Castries Comprehensive Secondary School starts at 7 p.m. Ticket cost $50. A special tribute honoring the life of our beloved skinny. Tickets are available at the United Workers' Party Secretariat. 758-451-4949. Right? And it reminds me, as Bernard said that there are many families out there who have had to make payment plans with funeral homes, or at some point would have had to borrow monies from a credit union or a bank to bury their loved ones. And I wish more political parties can come forward and do this in order to assist these families. It will be a good thing. It should not be looked at as suspicious. There is nothing to be suspicious about. Nothing at all. All right? So maybe that should be taken back. The family should have time to grieve, and we should at least leave this, let it rest. All right? Let it rest. Now I'm going to take a statement here that I got. Just bear with me, folks, but you're on to Caribbean American News Media platform. All right. This one is funny. Okay, so, and you know what that making bread of the dead, you make it sound bad, but people make bread on the dead every day in St. Lucia. The funeral homes, that's how they survive. That's how family feeds family, making bread on the dead. All right? GVD TV, they do announcements, of course. When somebody die, they do the announcement, they do the live feeds, and so they make a living. They provide a service, and they do get compensated their funeral packages, their burial insurance. The government now is building tombs. I'm not sure if the tombs are free, but I am sure that there will be a cost for those tombs. So when people die, somebody pays somebody to collect the body, to embalm the body. Somebody pays for the casket and other services that are associated with it. All right? So that's where I'm going to leave this. But your statement, making bread on the dead here, you know, I know the attempt was to make this the process look bad, but if you had listened to it, it's the family and the United Workers' Party, and not the United Workers' Party and the family. So you might want to just pray about that, because the family is grieving and you do not want to inflict further pain on this family. All right? Not for cheap party politics. That should not be done. Okay? So the number is 929-586-1821. If you would like to join us, we'll be closing off our GVD platform at around 9:15. Sorry, in your country it would be 10:02, but at 10:15 we will be shutting off from our GVD channel. All right, but folks, let me say this. I want you to go out there. Don't let this agitate you. This statement, these statements do come out, and ever so often we have to correct them. We have to rebuke them. But let us not, let's just be calm in our spirit. And one thing I always encourage, right? I always encourage my viewers to practice patience, tolerance, self-control. Those are stuff that we were taught as children. Don't let people ruffle you to the point where you get yourself bent out of shape and then you start, saying things that, might... Let's take this call. Call you on the air, Caribbean American News Media Platform. I believe this is Ian, my brother.
My brother, good evening, Brother Garfield, and good evening to your listeners.
Yeah, did you say good evening to Bernard too? He's giving trouble there.
I was just going to say good evening to Bernard Haynes, and I just want to say to Bernard Haynes, the last comment that you made there was very rather unfortunate.
Yeah.
I know you're better than that, and you need to retract that, because when it comes to death, such comments shows a sense of insensitivity. Mm-hmm. And I know you're above that, so you need to retract that comment, because any support that the Maynard family can get is well deserved, and they need it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about playing politics here. The family, the party decided, okay, look here, to bury a dead, it's costly, and so the family, the party stepped in collaboration with the family, and so they're having this event, and that's it. There's no party making dead on the bread and the dead and all this thing. So that was rather unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I totally agree. Very unfortunate statement, yeah.
So, but moving forward, when we thought that this whole Steenie Maynard CDC housing apartment issue had ended, here comes the so-called manager for Richard Frederick,
mm-hmm.
doubling down on the méprisé of
mm-hmm.
Steenie when he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she was reading a eulogy,
mm-hmm.
itemizing or saying what Richard Frederick did for Steenie when he was alive.
Mm.
And that should have been the last thing that anyone should have been saying.
Is that a new tape? Or?
Yeah, it's a new clip that came out about a few days ago.
Mm.
How much money Richard Frederick spent on Steenie and what he did for Steenie and all these things. That was very rather unfortunate and sad.
And Ian, it makes sense to call these things out because these are the nastiness in our society that we got to try to help stamp out of the politics. The man is dead. A politician, while you were a UWP with the guy, supported him, blah, blah, blah. Move on. You do not need to go through all this. This woman, what's her name, Brett, should rebuke herself and confess and repent of such attitude, because I'm telling you, she will reap her just reward. Repent, forsake that path, and allow the family to grieve. The family is not looking for any war with anyone. They're trying to organize to bury their loved one and move on to the healing process. This is not a time to be giving anyone mépris or reproaching anyone with things that have been done in an attempt to defend a minister. This should not be
exactly
at all. Caller, go ahead.
And the reality is, what transpired or what happened
mm-hmm.
a few days ago in this CDC apartment was sad and was inhumane and insensitive. Richard Frederick should have never given instruction to put a padlock on the doors of the apartment.
But Ian, based on my investigations though, the guy who actually put the padlock on the place did knock and no one responded, and so he proceeded to lock the place. But when he was called, I heard that he apologized, and was so sorry that it had happened. But it was the policy I think we got to challenge. It is the policy of the NHC to lock these apartments at some point, and I was speaking to someone in the know at the NHC, or former person there, and they were saying that it is, again, bad policies that need to be reviewed, and we need to have a better housing legislation in the country. And that is what happened to Maynard, the family. He was a victim of bad policy, housing policy.
Not just bad policy. You see, when you are faced with situations like these, there must be what I call decency and dignity. In the first instance, instruction should not have been given to the gentleman to put padlocks on the doors of the apartment of the Maynard family. That is inhumane, and there's no dignity there. The family, Skinny passed away. Courtesy should have dictated that at least a discussion should have ensued with the family, the wife and the daughter, and say, hey, yes, it is NHC's policy after somebody dies to take possession of the apartment, but have some humanity, have some heart. As a government minister, to give instructions to put a padlock on a grieving wife.
But we don't have, but yeah, and the truth is, and I wish to get some guidance here from you and others, but how do we know that he did instruct that? That's just a question, a fair question that I think we should ask too. How do we know that he gave instructions?
You believe a gentleman from the NHC, any ordinary member of staff from the NHC would just go and put a padlock on somebody's apartment?
If it's policy, it can happen.
I'm not being fooled, you know. But in any event, that should have never happened.
Well, I honestly support you that I think that a discussion should have been had. Find out, who are the family, where they are, if they're there in the house, in the place, and have a discussion with them and guide them through the process so that they can at least, if the applications need to be filled out, that they do it, deposits, to start that process. But I would have a discussion with them before even putting the lock there. Sometimes we have to have some humanity,
Exactly. That is my point. And let me tell you, so my information, when the gentleman came to put the padlock there on the door, he indicated to the wife and the daughter that he's giving them 1 hour to leave to vacate their apartment.
That's the second attempt, right?
That is the second time he came.
Yeah, because remember, he's doing his job. We got to do that. This poor man would have been doing his job, right? So I wouldn't put the blame at him, the guy who went to lock the place. But again, I would put it at bad housing policy in our nation. If somebody's renting and they have family living there with them, the families might not be on the lease or on any document, I do not believe that the policy should be to put them out or lock them out. I believe that needs to be changed so that we can, and you got to update lease ever so often. Send correspondence to the tenants. Do you have anything any information? Do you have any changes in the family? Is there anything you'd want to add or let us know that is happening? Or do you have extra family members living there? Blah, 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 blah. But there needs to be a better system so that it can be people friendly. And that is my concern. Bad policies.
Particularly, Brother Garfield, especially if you realize at the NHC that the lease will be soon up for renewal, then you send a correspondence and say, look here, has anything changed in terms of the occupancy of the apartment?
That's right.
That's how it's done in the real world. In the United States, Canada, and England, if you're a renter, and your lease is up, the landlord will send you notice and say, look, I'm notifying you that your lease will soon be up, and so are there any changes? Are there more occupants? And if there are more occupants, please indicate so.
But Ian, we can also add, right, on the just looking at both sides of this discussion. In fairness, I am sure that there are a whole lot of people who were once occupants of the CDC who have caused this problem that we're experiencing now. Some of them, they are renting the CDCs for higher monthly rents. They have their own private homes living elsewhere, and they're holding up these apartments from decent citizens who really, really just want a decent, cheap place where they can call home. And these people are holding it up for years and years and years, and they're just not following the rules themselves. And politicians have encouraged them, some of them along the way, not to follow the rules.
Brother Garfield, you know what? Two things that stands out for me. One, there needs to be a revamping of the housing policy as it pertains to the NAC.
That's right.
When it comes to renting.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I listened to Richard Frederick's manager, and she said something in her voice note that scared me,
What is
and
it?
that jumped out to me. When she made the comment that Richard Frederick, the government minister, was at a housing board meeting, and discussions came up for renting of apartments. That should have never happened. A government minister should not be at a board meeting discussing or deciding who should get an apartment or not. That should never have happened. And when she made that comment, that scared me. So it tells me that you have a sitting government minister is micromanaging, giving people or approving apartments. I thought that when you're a government minister, your sole duty is to set a policy. And then you have your low-line managers, your PSCs and your boards and what have you, who will implement your policy. Not sit at a board meeting and decide who should get an apartment or not. That should not be, and that is sad.
And I understand,
So
Ian, why people are pinning this on Richard too, because remember, it was the Labour Party who told us who he was and how he operates and from what level he functions. So people would not put anything past him, because according to old saying, once a devil, always a devil.
Brother Garfield, I served under Richard Frederick, as a board member of the Cashew City Council. And there's a lot that I know. But in due time, I will say to the public, when it comes to micromanaging, this current government minister is famous for that. And so the situation in the Maynard family is unfortunate. And it's even unfortunate that we're having a discussion like that in their moments of grief.
Yeah, it's not one that I want to have anyway, because I want the family to grieve. That's the truth, and to go through their pain, and put their family to rest. That's what I would want. All this drama around them, is just unfortunate. Honestly, with the Mepui and what I give you, I don't like it. It's not nice.
It's not nice, but I just want to end. I'll give somebody else a chance to call.
Yes.
But the time will come when the people of Central Castries will make that decision, that sensible decision in getting rid of this government minister called Richard Frederick,
and they should
and put some sanity in the Parliament of St. Lucia. Put some decency and dignity in the Parliament of St. Lucia, and that Central Castries, the residents of Central Castries, can have a parliamentarian or representative who has decency, who has dignity, and who has respect among the people and his constituents. Have a blessed evening, brother.
Thank you so much for sharing your opinion with us. All right, Ian, appreciate it. That was Ian. And let me say something, folks. All of us have our opinions, and there's the truth, our opinion, and all the other stuff that are out there. So I would say, look, let's do our best to stand with this family as they grieve their loved one. Let me just read some of your comments and then we will go. All right. Let's see here. Flabo are not solutions. They shouldn't survive in our own country. And that comment is what is the feeling that you are getting from some parts of St. Lucia. If you're Flabo then you shouldn't talk or you should not exist, and that should not be. All right. We continue to read your comments. Willie says, Brother Garfield, why would the NHC accept 2 months rent payment from skinny children in January, February, and then go back to them out of the apartment? That's the question. Those are questions that must be asked, and I am sure, and I would recommend, they seek legal representation as they move forward after they have done the formal service, that they seek legal advice on the whole matter. Okay. Jean Friend says your Labour had a right to call him corrupt when he was with the UWP, and they did. They really dirty this guy while he was a United Workers' Party supporter, and I am shocked to see a lot of the Labour Party people who are basically saying that he's a savior now, and so you leave the people confused. Which one? Were you lying then? Are you lying now? What is it? Because this is very confusing. He was the worst, and now you hear something different. I guess it depends on what side you're on. You're the worst or you're the best, and that's not really good for the nation. Lydia says SLP has the right to come under the live and write nonsense. If that shameless continues to come here, I would not follow the live. Okay, so Lydia is saying she will not follow the live if the SLP continues. Bernard Garfield, when the judge gave the martial order to lock the apartment, and Bernard, in the United States, before the judge gave the martial orders to lock apartments, it goes through a long period. The state also direct families how they can get help. They direct them to services that are available in the state so that these people would not be just locked out on the road. They will ensure that there is somewhere that these people can go. They will give them time to leave, time to get themselves together. They would not just lock the apartment. Many times people are locked out of the apartment here in New York. It is because they have not responded to the owners of the building. They have not responded to the court, or they have defied the court orders. And I'll say this, especially to those in the United States. When you are renting from someone, don't just waste people water. Don't just have water running because you're not paying a water bill and you want to punish them. Don't mash up people's place because you're mad with them or you jealous or Don't just stop paying your rent when you can and want to live out and give the people all kind of talk and bad name. Some of these people have been very helpful to some of you. And you put them through hell to the point where they have to seek the law to get you out. You're not paying rent. You're wasting their water. You are in their place that they're paying mortgage for. And you're being wrong and strong. That's nastiness. And I got to call this one out. It happens too often. And they don't tell you the truth that the landlord is going through hell with them as tenants. They're not paying their rent. They're wasting the water. They're disrespecting the landlord. They're dodging him. And then when they get the order and they refuse and they're put out, then the landlord is bad, not good. The landlord is the devil in hell. We too got to balance this, friends. If you can't afford the apartment, you talk to the landlord. Look, I'm going through a hard time. If you can just help me out, give me at least a few months to get my things together, blah, blah, blah. You have a conversation. But you don't go tell people the landlord is a crook, they're nasty, when they did nothing to you. You can't pay your rent. But in New York, there is a long process before you can put anyone out of an apartment or even your own home. Somebody comes in, they stay for 30 days or more, and you can't just put them out. You have to go through a whole process. But what I can assure you, they're not going to just come and lock you out if somebody dies, or they're going to lock you out tomorrow. It takes a while, and there are protection that are afforded to tenants. There are what you call landlord-tenants laws here in the United States that protect the landlord and also protect the tenants. Sometimes I believe that they protect the tenants more than they protect the landlord in some cases. So let's not just throw that out there, Bernard, that when the marshal come and everything else. No, it don't just happen like that. All right? Let me just read some more of your comments. When I says tell them that every minute they're traveling to St. Lucia, pay your rent first. All right? Anyway, folks, I don't want your spirit to be disturbed. And I just want to challenge my viewers. And then we're going to dismiss. Folks, let me say something. We're here together as this platform was designed for the supporters of the United Workers' Party. I want to make this clear now. This platform, you may not always agree with what comes out of the platform from the host, from my guest, from even those who are not supporters but they're blogging. They might say a lot of crazy stuff. But it does not mean that the platform should be abandoned because of that. It doesn't mean that the platform is not a good platform. It does not mean that there are not sacrifices that are made for us to be on the air night after night. So sometimes when you make statements like that you'll abandon it because they're SLP under the live talking, it makes me feel bad. It sometimes put me in a kind of not depressing state, because I don't get depressed that easy, but it put me in a place of concern that we can easily abandon our own because of the opinions of those who do not support us. My intention on the platform, friends, is to bring people together for a discourse, for discussion. You cannot win anything by divide. You win by adding, addition. That's what the political game is about. Not subtraction. 2, you do not practice talking to your own people to convince them that there are bad policies and a government might not be the best for them. Who you need to convince? The undecided and maybe a handful of vulnerable SLPs. I learned something as I spent a lot of time in the classroom with children, that the more you repeat something is the more it sticks. Yeah? And the more I try to instill discipline in the children, especially those who are not too stable, I repeat to them every morning, take off your jackets, put your bag away, take out your folder, put it in the homework trays. Take your lunch bag, put it in the lunch tray. Sit at your desk, and you have to repeat that several times. And even though some of the students would forget, I do not abandon them because they forget. My goal is to instill discipline in them so that when they get older and they move on, that it will stay with them. That's why the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. Keep telling, keep practicing, keep reminding. So on this platform, I continue to remind St. Lucians that you can do better. You deserve better. Healthcare, roads, airports, and there are many other things that you deserve better of. So my intention here is not to only speak to the choir or sing to the choir, but I want to sing to the unconverted. I want to sing to those who don't know the song, or those who have believed a lie or a mirage. I want to remind you, my people, that we are in this to win, not to lose. Therefore, there are times you will have to tolerate a lot of crazy things. Just like me, when I get those text messages, I have to endure them. I do not block when I receive the text. There are times when I will delete statements that are offensive and should not be on our platform, because our platform is not a propaganda machine for the SLP. It was not designed for that. Therefore, after the show, what I do is that I go over the broadcast and I begin to clean up. I remove comments. I delete. Sometimes they're deleted automatically, especially those that are offensive. But it is my responsibility to guard the platform and to guard it jealously. Because one thing I would never tolerate on this platform is misinformation, disinformation, and disrespect. So the platform is bigger than me, friends. There are times it takes me a while to go through the comments and to deal with them. So have patience with me. A matter of fact, I am here to help you as a people, not myself. So I would say, let us change our mindset and work together. But let's encourage dialogue, discussion among each other. We can only affect change if we speak to each other, not curse each other, not argue with each other. We can only achieve, and I'll tell you, this is a winning strategy, when we discuss the issues, speak the issues. And there are times we'll have to correct statements that we ourselves have made on the platform that might not be true, or we would have been misinformed. There are times we'll have to get back on the air and make right. We must never win with propaganda and lies. We must win with the truth. When you win with the truth, you will lead in righteousness. The Labour Party told us a lot of stuff that was not true. And we're seeing it today. The manifestation, the confusion. So I say, friends, if the United Workers' Party lead in righteousness, then they would, if they campaign in righteousness, they will win in righteousness, and they would lead a nation into better days. Because the word says that when the righteous rule, the people are glad. And when the wicked rule, destruction comes, the people are sad. So bear with me. My Christianity must show in every broadcast. And so I appreciate all our listeners, and I know you appreciate the time that I spend here with you. Precious moments that could have been spent elsewhere. Thank you so much for keeping me company. We look forward to the launch of our official campaign page, where we will daily bring to you updates leading up to the next general elections. We must win in righteousness. I don't care what anyone say. We must campaign in righteousness, because that exalts the nation. Joycelyn Fetcher, whoa. Then Garfield, you can see when some people are disrespecting your show, calling it a propaganda show, and tolerate them. Dr. Fletcher, I will part ways with you here. I can very much see. And I am not operating the platform out of just running at everything. People are going to make their statements. I can't manage this platform. People are going to be disrespectful. When I see it, I clean it up. When I see it, I call it out. But Bernard Haynes, Anson, SLPs are not my enemy. They are not my problem. My problem are those who are in government, who are being paid by the people to implement policies to protect them, better health care, and everything else. I'm not going after every surrogate because they sometimes act a fool. I want to spend my energy speaking about the good things about the United Workers' Party. That's what I want to spend my time in. So, Doc, I part with you there. I am not encouraging disrespect here. And I'm not encouraging anyone to spread it. And like I always say, I would like to hear from the SLPs. Who do I speak to? I can't just speak to flubbles and I can't just talk up. We can't just talk among ourselves. We got to speak to others. And like an old friend of mine would say, show them the erring ways. But I appreciate every one of you folks. I hope that you have a beautiful night. And I honestly would, prefer my viewers if you understand and give me the freedom to engage the platform. Give me the freedom to do so. And I would ask you tonight, if you do not want me to operate this show the way it is operated, let me know. You know, my number is 929-586-1821, and the other number is 347-623-9183. And folks, I will just, respect your wishes, and, that's it. But let us stick together and allow me to manage the show, to multitask. I wish I could have showed you all the screens around me and everything that I have to manage at the same time. So please, and do me a favor, share the live, tag a friend. Those of you who don't share the live, share it. Those of you who don't support the live, support it, so that we can have better shows, and that I would not feel, you will not make me feel like I am sitting here doing something so wrong that is ungodly, and that I'm encouraging disrespect on this platform. I want to have discussions with all people pertaining to the many issues in this country. Please, folks, don't type anymore under the platform. Text me or call me. 929-586-1821. Call me tonight. Let's have a discussion. 347-623-9183. Call me. and let's have a discussion. All right? Thank you so much for being here with us. This has been another Sound the Alarm program. Caribbean American News Media Platform. Thank you, GVD TV Channel 115, for your time, for airing us every Tuesday night. And have a beautiful night, folks. Goodbye.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media State of the Nation with Garfield Oliver. The news you report. Let's get to work.